As a proud Finnish citizen, I am so happy to confirm and inform you that Wreckfest on Switch is now out, and it's a brilliant port. So in this video I'm going to talk about the release, the Switch version of Wreckfest, and also comparing the PS5 version of Wreckfest and Switch version, like the technically the best version and the, well, let's say least good, but definitely not far from a bad. But yeah, first of all, when they released Wreckfest on consoles a couple of years ago, I was pretty sure that there was no possible way them to port it on Switch. Like, I saw the car physics, all the destruction and car parts flying, all the destruction and carnage, plus so many cars on track at the same time, like 24. I didn't think Wreckfest would ever come to Switch, but now after a few years it has finally come to Switch, and to be completely honest, Switch is in dire need of AAA racing games. Like, yes, there are many smaller indie racing games, but when talking about the AAA big budget racing games, there are so few available on Switch. Like, I can only think of just a couple of games like Grid Autosport, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, now Wreckfest, and maybe Gear Club 2 Unlimited, or what was it called. But then again, first Gear Club game was pretty much designed for mobile games, as the sequel was first released on Nintendo Switch, and I think the sequel never came to mobile. But yeah, I wouldn't count that as a big budget AAA console racing game. But yeah, there aren't many. Like, now Wreckfest, like I said, Grid Autosport and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. So yeah, Switch really needed this game. Like, the racing genre, like the quality big racing games, there is a there is really a let's say there aren't many. Yeah, so this was really important, because I think racing genre really fits on Switch like so many other genres. So yeah, so the game was released 2 days ago. I bought the physical version. The price was 40 euros. So pretty normal price for an quite old port. I mean, port of a quite old game already. But yeah, now I'm talking about the differences between these two versions. So yeah, First of all, I want to say that Switch, after playing it on handheld mode and docked mode, I can safely say that Wreckfest on Switch is a technical masterpiece. Like, technically, it's one of the best ports on Switch, uh, hands down. I mean, you have to remember that PS5 is like how many times more powerful than Switch, and comparing these two, the differences, technical differences, aren't as big as you would think they would be, because the power difference is so uh, big between PS5 and Nintendo Switch. But yeah, so there are some sacrifices they had to make, like uh, on PS5, and I think on other console versions, PS4 and Xbox One, there are 24 cars on the track at the same time at maximum, and they had to reduce it to 16 cars on Switch, but that's still quite many cars, considering all the carnage and destruction happening on the races. Uh, the car physics, I would say, to me, they look as impressive on Switch as they are on other console versions. The car physics are just phenomenal, especially on small screen, seeing all the same, uh, uh, all the same car physics, cars flying and flipping and doing crazy flips and other shit. It's just impressive to see all the same uh, carnage on small screen, um, and when playing on handheld mode, I can see that they had to. It doesn't run on 720p resolution. I think it looks more like 540p or something like that. It's below HD, but still it runs quite steady 30 frames per second with 16 cars on track at maximum. There are some frame rate dips here and there, but they are so minor that uh, if you don't pay attention to them, you can't really see the frame rate drops. But yeah, then when playing on docked mode, on TV mode, you can clearly see it's more sharp. Uh, it, it isn't. I don't think it's 1080p. That's like in the handheld mode is lower, the resolution, but it's definitely 720p on docked mode at least. And the frame rate is a little bit more steadier also on TV mode. Still 30 frames per second, but there are even fewer dips on frame rate. It's more steady. And unfortunately, like on any other version, there isn't local multiplayer split screen, but it's really understandable, especially on Switch, because it was already a technical achievement to even run this game on Switch. And yeah, thinking about it would have to run on two screens. That would be like insane. I don't think that would be possible, or the sacrifices would be severe on graphics if they added the split screen. But yeah, the split screen aren't available on any version, so yeah. Uh, there are up to 16 players online racing. So yeah, on online it's the same as offline racing. It only supports up to 16 cars on track at the same time. Uh, and other graphical differences is when playing on PS5, you can see that the dirt really shows on the cars. The more you race, the dirt that just sticks uh, to the car's paint, uh, and it looks awesome. But on Switch, you can't see that dirt uh, on the cars. And some effects are also reduced. Some lighting effects are a little bit reduced, but they are not completely gone. There are still quite nice lighting effects and shadows even on Switch. But yeah, they are definitely reduced, the quality of shadows and lighting on Switch. And what other differences? Well, I would say that's pretty much all the I can see the differences between these two versions. So yeah, considering how much more powerful PS5 really is, like versus Switch, the differences are quite minor, and it just looks and plays impressively on Nintendo Switch. Like, I'm still kind of in awe of how great the port really is on Switch. Like, yeah, I just had to get this uh, and to play it wherever I want, because yeah, I'm a huge, well, first of all, I'm a huge racing games fan, and also especially destruction derby like games, uh, and other car combat games like Twisted Metal. And but yeah, I like destruction derby games, and there are so few of them. Like, so it's so nice to see that there are at least some destruction derby like games today, uh, because we haven't seen, and I don't think there ever will be a new destruction derby game. It died long ago. I don't think there will ever be another game in the series. So it's nice to see a uh, kind of old school style destruction racing game. Uh, but yeah, uh, what else really say? The file size on the Switch, it's a little bit over 10 gigabytes if you are interested to buy it on eShop, from the eShop digitally. It's quite large game, uh, but yeah, it's quality game, so that pretty much explains it's pretty big. But yeah, like, there are so few AAA racing games on Switch. So if you are a Switch owner, if you only have Switch and you are a racing game fan, I highly recommend you to pick this one up on Switch. Like, it's the best AAA racing game besides also the brilliant Need for Speed Hot Pursuit remaster. That's also a awesome technical achievement, an overall great game on Switch, uh, which I also have. But yeah, uh, this was my kind of first impressions or mini review uh, on Switch and a little comparison between these two versions. Uh, yeah, excellent port, which I never thought was even possible to make. But and I think that Bugbear has has also uh, done the port of this, but it could be the outside team they hired to do this port. But I'm pretty sure Bugbear itself handled this port also, which pretty much would explain how good it is. Because sometimes when the main development teams that were doing the main initial versions of the game, when they hire an outside team to do another port, it's pretty hit or miss. They sometimes do a lazy work on the ports, but it's always a much better chance to have a really good port when the original team handles it also, and not just some hired outside team. Anyway, this is it. Yeah, I'm so glad that they really succeeded making this an awesome Switch game, awesome Switch port, and yeah, pick it up if you love racing games. And yeah, as a proud Finn, again, this is so awesome. Like, Finland, every time Finland makes a video game, it's at least very good. Like, I don't think we Finnish people, we can't even do a bad games. Yeah, but anyway, enough. It's already almost 20 minutes, but yeah, anyway, and I'm like, my mind is pretty pretty stuck now, so it's better for me to stop now. But yeah, this is it. Get Wreckfest if you love racing games and if you only have Nintendo Switch. I can assure you that it's an excellent game. It's not that much lesser game than on other platforms. They really nailed it on Switch. So see you in the next video. Bye.